So, last session, you guys were in the middle of a heated confrontation with Cain, where he had cast a spell on Jin to make him grovel on the floor, and Valxis, being right behind Cain and Sheila, was able to gather that the intention of Cain was to humiliate Jin instead of harm Jin, and that if Jin was willingly going to go with giving away the power, then at least Cain was going to make a show of it and embarrass him and sort of make him pay for his past actions that he didn't entirely pay for because he kind of just left the village. Nonetheless, Jin was very embarrassed. He then turned into a moorbounder in front of the entire village, causing everyone to scatter in fear. Proceeded to then go speak to his mother, who discussed with him giving his power back. Valxis, not knowing how things worked, and instead of making assumptions the way that Jin and his mother were going to make assumptions, went and asked Cain, how's this going to work? And got the answer that Cain was going to utilize the axe, which was seemingly bestowed upon him as champion of Anakris, to withdraw that power from Jin and return it to its rightful owner, Anakris. You guys then gathered yourselves in your guest chambers and kind of had a long conversation about what your intentions are, what your direction is going forward, what your plans are, how this is going to work the next day. And there were certain revelations that occurred as you guys decided to sit down and have sort of a meditation powwow. In the same way that you guys were able to infiltrate Drell's dream the night that Yol supposedly died, you all sought to meditate together and use your magics, if you had them, to speak to whatever this deity is that's seemingly putting a cloud of darkness over Jin, the one that he didn't understand was who he is, that Drell watched kill Yol, this glowing eye in the darkness. Aphelion, using his mind link, he and Perry were able to accompany Jin into this meditation. Drell, being in tune with himself, being the one who trained Jin to be able to meditate and find that place within himself. And Ben, using detect thoughts, unresisted, you all sat in a circle and entered, in a sense, this domain of whatever deity this is. From the outside, Valxis, Kelo, Marador, you all saw that shroud of black steam or smoke that was coming off of Jin during the ritual inside the tribe mother's chamber happened again. And as certain individuals were able to solidify their connection to Jin, you saw that smoke expand and connect to their bodies and start to shroud them as well. The only person who didn't get shrouded was Ben. Everyone started asking questions to this deity, questions that he wasn't keen to answer, because he didn't feel he had reason to answer your questions, give you information about him if your intent was to try to take him down in some way or another. Until Ben started asking a few questions that seemed to trigger the emotional responses by this deity. Questions about the Champion of the Grey, a god who holds domain over tournaments and combat and glory, and the connection to Brethik Grey. Initially thinking maybe he was a deity before Brethik Grey, and Brethik Grey took him down and took his place, or that he was Brethik Grey, and he very quickly shut that down. It seemed the only way to get information out of him was to appeal to things that very clearly pissed him off. However, he did acknowledge for all of you that today was going to be the last day that he would have a connection to Jin, and that he understood that the connection was going to be broken, and there was nothing he could do about it. So also, why give you information if he's going to be gone? Was there a reason he thought you would want to pursue him? On the outside, Valxis tried breaking the connection of this black smoke. 2 separate occasions. Once it lashed out at his hand. A second time he tried to strike it with a blade, and there was a sizzling almost like acid, as he dropped his dagger. Attempting to shake Ben out of this detect thoughts, Ben choosing to stay inside of it and not acknowledge that Valxis was shaking him out. Valxis also attempted to cast Sending on Aphelion and heard this deity's voice in the background of Aphelion's response. You guys eventually ended the meditation, the smoke subsided, and you were all discussing before you went to bed that night whether or not you still wanted to go through with returning this power, whether it would create a connection between this being and Cain and disturb the connection between Cain and Inocarus, whether or not Inocarus would even be getting the power back in general, or whether this is all part of some crazy plot. What did it have to do with Breathic Grey? What did it have to do with the arena? How did the ritual that created Ben in any way relate to any of this? Going to sleep with more questions than answers, you guys know that coming into this next morning, something is going to be done. Whether it's a choice to leave, a choice to escape, a choice to stay and give up power, or other options that you may have thought up over the last week. You guys all awake the next morning. It's a slightly misty day. Clouds in the sky, but no raindrops. You're all awake rather early, as there's a looming tension over what today could bring. Feel free to wake up in whatever order you want and do whatever you wish.
Jin will be up first.
Nice. I'm exhausted because I
Yes,
didn't.
two of you chose to stay up through the night and take points of exhaustion.
Yes.
Let's go.
Both of you can make perception checks through the night.
Sure. Bam.
Let's go.
He's starting off the session strong.
Okay.
So for both of you, you both know you're both consciously staying up. You both know that you're going to be exhausted the next day. Both of you carry more concern in this situation than the rest of the party, even more so than Jin. Through the night, you watch and you listen. Your different party members. Jin has a very restless night. You guys both notice it. It's probably coupled with the idea that he's about to lose everything he's built up over the last 4 months. Or 3 months. Additionally, on a couple occasions, individuals did come in to like sort of check on you guys, but they weren't like there to disturb you. You guys see that Sasha stops in at one moment, sees that you guys are awake, and just kind of like gives you an acknowledging nod and then walks away. At one point, Jin's father steps into the room, doesn't say a word to either of you, doesn't acknowledge either of you, and kind of just looks at Jin. I'd say with your perceptions, you don't even need insights. You guys know that he's concerned. More concerned than he's shown for Jin the entire time that you guys have been here and seen their conflict with each other. Because he doesn't know what it's going to be like to have a son who's empty of any connection to Inocarus in any way. He doesn't know whether or not this is... I mean, no one knows whether or not this is going to pull away his blood magic. His blood magic's not religious. His blood magic doesn't have any divine power to it. No one knows how this is going to affect Jin besides the fact that Valxis, you know, speaking to Cain, that he was going to come out of it probably feeling empty. Whatever empty means. Other than that, and Jin being restless for the night, everyone else seems to sleep soundly. And you two take a point of exhaustion, and everyone else gets up the next morning.
I think we should get into combat today.
I don't have one drafted up, but if you give me like 15 minutes, I could get you a map, tokens, everything if you wanted it.
No,
Yo, you want to?
Let's go on a hunt.
I mean, the map's already here if you guys want to start fighting every single person in your tribe.
Joe, we could.
Good. No.
Dude, we should go on a victory hunt before you give up all of your power. We should go fight the biggest, baddest thing.
Instead of you just like forfeiting your powers, you make Cain fight for it.
Yeah,
It just
you're-
doesn't kill
wake
you.
up, you're gonna have to fucking take it from me. No,
kidding.
Jin will probably be
Jin,
up.
you were so willing to give it away yesterday. What the fuck happened?
I woke up with demons.
I want to have
What
fun.
happened?
I chose
No.
violence today.
I know
chose
you guys have went
motherfucking
without a
violence.
combat for a good while, and I apologize.
Yeah.
But you're also
No,
like
no, no, okay.
deep in someone's backstory without any actual like
Um,
target.
Yo, let's kill this whole village. Wait.
I think you'll see Jin get up. He'll
But,
kind of
like,
just sit at the side of his bed for like 2 minutes, and then just wander outside, like just not even dressed, like not even put together. He'll just walk out and probably just go for a walk for a little bit.
Okay.
But you guys are welcome to join him because he has time to just sit there and kind of just stare at his
I'll
feet.
go hang out with Jin.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Is everyone else just staying in the room?
I'll find some brekkie.
Okay. You know where to go for food. Basic food.
Ooh,
Breakfast.
breakfast.
I'd stay with Philion.
Well, he's going to get brekkie.
So I'd go get Bricky.
Okay, cool.
I go with
You go where?
I go with Jin.
Okay, so Jin, Valxis, and Drell go off on a walk.
Probably just walk like the perimeter of the village. You know, like just a
Sure.
long walk, I guess.
Sure. Jin, make a perception check for me. Okay, Drell and Valxis. Valxis, yours at disadvantage because you're exhausted. Also make perception checks for
I
me.
get a perception. Nice.
Rolls higher than me.
Can I perceive what's for breakfast?
It's bread, meats, dried meats like jerkies and stuff.
We don't fucking see.
Yeah, you guys don't see
anything.
shit. You guys are
We see
tired. It's
fuck
misty.
all.
It's kind of just like a nice silent walk, unless you guys are saying anything. Yeah, Ben, you go ahead and roll perception for what's for breakfast.
For Brecky?
Yeah, what do you got for brekkie? 14. They're serving some nice tea with some squeezed lemon with your breakfast today that you probably wouldn't have seen had you not been perceptive enough, along with your stale bread and some dried cured meats.
I'll ask the person having tea, what is that?
It's tea. We brew these leaves in water and scoop out the leaves and then pour it into a container and squeeze some lemon to give it a little tang. It's good. It'll
Can I-
wake you up if you. I mean, you seem really tired.
Oh, that's just a base state. Can I have some?
Don't know what you mean by a base state, but yeah, sure. And she pours you like a little flagon of it, hands it over. It's steaming.
The eye
Take a
bags
sip.
are anesthetic.
Blow on it and take a sip.
Okay. She's giving you a weird look. Base
I'll,
state.
Thank you.
You're
Walk
welcome.
away.
Those of you who are taking your perimeter walk, you guys just walking in silence?
So, Jin.
Jin.
Yes.
You okay? You okay?
I don't know. Just feeling a lot of like, not lost in the decision. I guess I'm just lost with what the future will be. Because I
mean-
don't want to just be dead weight to you guys.
No, you won't be dead weight.
Let's just face the music, man. If I can't be some hulking monster, if I can't track or hunt things down as well as I can,
What, you can't track without your powers?
I mean, I can track, but listen, man,
You-
having that heightened sense of hearing and smelling it's just really helpful with
What if, hear me out here. What if we like hunt some other deities and make some contracts with them so then you get more powers that way?
I immediately look in concern.
you see Jin look over at Valxis
Drell, just immediate concern. That's not the lesson we should be taking from this. Drell,
I was
No.
just thinking, like, you know how like the dragon gave us something, like.
Is we'll start worshiping the dragon, turn it into a god?
Jin, you're still good with your swords, right? You're still good with those. Even if you lose like the tracking and stuff, you can still fight with swords. That's like your specialty.
Do you lose like the fire thing?
Do I
Jin?
lose it? I don't know.
Oh shit!
I don't know. I don't know what's
Dude,
gonna happen.
that's the coolest
to me.
thing you do. I hope you don't lose the fire thing.
You just see Jin have his droning look as he's like staring ahead.
Dreyll.
I don't. Thanks, man. I like it a lot too.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm just like, what are you gonna do after you give away your power? You're gonna be nothing.
I mean, I have like if somehow my powers can stay. I'm just saying the base layer of my powers, like just the ability to ignite my weaponry. I guess I'll feel slightly more useful. I don't know. I keep kicking around the idea. What if I just spend a little bit of time here and learn how to make concoctions like my family? Would Innocuous even want to listen to me to give me some other form of power to help us do what we plan to do? And by the way, what do we plan to do after this?
That's a great question.
I mean, Sheila brought up the fact that there's a giant phoenix in the flame.
That the phoenix is getting bigger.
Elemental plane of fire. Yeah.
No, the phoenix is getting bigger.
I definitely think that is something we kind of really need a grasp on. And I'm not trying to say that to pressure you to go back to your family, but whether we track down information or intel on it.
Well, we're not supposed to know about that.
And we do. So what? Yeah.
We're not supposed to know about that. We're not supposed to know that it's. Well, we know that it exists. Okay, so according to what we're not supposed to know,
I mean, if I'm gonna be honest,
we know that it exists.
I knew Sheila was going in there because I had Bamboozle go spy on her. So it's not even like.
But you still talk to Bamboozle?
Before Bamboozle left, I asked to just see what Sheila was doing.
And he just found her in the.
Yeah, I watched her enter the portal to the plane of.
Valx is making Arcana check.
You said it so well, Valx.
How?
You said it so well. I always keep losing the word.
You have no fucking idea how Bamboozle could have done that.
The flying, that thing went to the elemental.
No, before just the outside of it. Like we watched her walk in the portal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't in. Okay.
I mean, maybe he can. Bamboozle is powerful.
How did he find her?
It's Bamboozle. I mean, enough about that though. But I'm really.
You have sending. Why don't you ask him? No. Okay.
I'm really leaning towards the idea that
that's true. I do have that.
You know, we go in. I get drained of my power. Pray to God I can still do some things, and then spend some time with my dad, learn how to make concoctions, and maybe I can rekindle that. I don't. I'm kind of at a loss for ideas.
That one might actually be a good path.
If he even wants to help me, I mean,
Jin.
Listen, I just see the relationship with you and your dad.
He came in to check in on you last night, Jin. I watched him. He looked worried.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be the first time this has ever happened, so I don't know.
And he
the
loves
one thing
you,
I always
sir.
kind of struggle with.
I want you to know that.
Does he? I don't know.
Yes.
We'll see. He seems so rightfully angry with me. Maybe it's just deep down underneath it's like an undertone, but I don't know. I always kind of struggle with the idea that there can only be one champion. The world needs a lot of champions, and there's so many evils that like there's just no way we can fight all of them. And there's no way Kane can fight all of them or help with many of them. But I don't want to be the one who comes to Anakris saying, I know I stole your power, but I really think there should be more champions. There should, like,
But that's-
you
but
know what
that's-
I mean?
But
That's
know
the
what you
point.
mean.
But there's
Yeah.
there's like 100 other gods. I don't know how many
Yeah.
gods there are. There's a lot, but
There are a lot of
and they
gods.
all have their own champions. So
Exactly.
there are
Good and bad people
Yeah.
roaming the universe or plane or realm. I don't know.
you don't have to be all of them.
But I kind of want to. I don't want to be like the guy who saves everybody, but I do want to. I don't know, man. I feel like sometimes you're placed on this fucking realm for a higher being, and I really think we're in the middle of something where we can make a big difference to help a lot of people in danger. And also, I've been thinking about this. Are we gonna ever go back to that guy who fucking kidnapped me? Because that guy
Okay.
had like a lot of mystique to him that we really
I-
didn't uncover.
I don't know about that one.
Dreyll, did you really just say what guy?
Really, the guy who had the worms that burrowed, the mechanical
Yeah.
worms that burrowed out of the ground.
Holy
that
shit, that's a
lit my ass on
long
fire.
time ago.
It's really
it wasn't that long
not.
ago.
It's
It was
really
like
not
not.
that
5
long
days
ago.
ago.
I was
I
like,
wouldn't say 5
oh,
days.
that was like,
How long
Yeah.
was
It was
that?
literally right
Like
before
2
we left.
weeks. So like
No fucking shot.
Okay, in real life,
real life,
this
it was
happened
like a month.
before Christmas. This was like November.
yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else.
They're
I
talking
totally
about
don't
Clockwork, the
remember
red
this.
tiefling
Clockwork.
who fucking kidnapped the with the doppelgangers
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, that guy.
the Halloween special.
Was it Halloween?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I got my ass lit on
You
fire
guys
on
are
Halloween.
saying it's Christmas. It's Halloween.
No, he said before
I
Christmas.
said before Christmas, so I was close. I was a month off.
I called the fight doppelgangbang.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is what it should have been.
Good one. Nice one.
That's a good one.
Also, it wasn't a worm. It was like a bird with claws.
Nah,
Okay,
good
close
one,
enough.
dude.
A mole,
Sure. But nonetheless.
and it lit my ass on fire. Okay,
Your
I lost
body
my
was on
temporary HP.
Do you want to go looking for that guy again?
Could have information
I
on the
mean, you have
Phoenix.
sending.
I'm not. No, because we know that
Oh.
sending messages to the bad people are not smart.
He
Corey.
also has the sending stone that goes to the
I
Phoenix.
was gonna
That's
say,
true.
didn't he take our stone?
Because
He
you
did.
guys didn't want it back.
Yeah, we were like,
You
yeah,
said-
explicitly said no.
We said
I
no.
couldn't talk.
no, he asked for it.
No, he went, do you guys, so you guys don't want the sending stone back? And you were like, no, fuck you. And then you guys left. Because Aphelion was like, we
Yeah.
just want to leave. We just want to leave. Let us go. And he was like, okay, if you guys don't want
No,
it back,
couldn't
sure.
talk
And he
because
pocketed
kept
it.
talking too much.
He 100%
We
pocketed
just gave
it
him a
because
very
you guys,
strong connection.
You 100% because he was taught you found out he told you guys just to fill you back in. He told you guys that he was able to contact the secretary who kept sending you guys messages.
Yeah.
That he sounded like a good dude and that you guys never talked back. He said he could show you guys where they were. Like he could tell you where they were sending messages from. And you guys refused. You said you didn't want his help. You didn't trust him. You didn't want to talk to him. He was like, okay, do you want the stone back? And you guys were like, no. And he went, okay, fine. And he pocketed it. And he was like, you're free to go. I'm not stopping you.
I think the main reason behind refusing it was just because of the whole not getting entangled with the Phoenix business.
Sure. I'm just saying you guys said no. He didn't ask to keep it. He didn't say like, "Ooh, I want it. Can I have it?" He went, "Do you guys want it back?" And you guys went, "No." And he went, "Okay." He just pocketed it.
Oh,
Just pocketed it. That term is always
Yeah.
I mean,
so...
I don't know. We'll just I guess see how it goes down. Probably should find Merrick and explain to him too. I don't know.
Are you guys grouping back up? Walk over.
Let's just get
food
back to
done.
everybody.
You guys all meet each other like out in the middle of the village. Ben finishing up
Hello.
his tea. and Brecky.
I'll point
So-
it. I'll point at his tea. What's that?
It's leaf juice with some lemon.
Oh, pretty good.
So, is it gonna happen, Jin? You're gonna.
You see Jin just like kind of lean back while he's just sitting on the bed. Yeah.
I said you guys met up in the middle of the village, but sure, you're back in the guest
Oh,
chambers.
Sorry. Because I leaned back and I was like, oh man. Like,
Nah,
I
you're
was
back
even
in the guest
thinking about
chambers
it
now.
happened.
Nah, you're back. You're on a bed. Sure, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He cast spawn
let's do
bed.
this shit. Let's just do this shit. I don't even know why I'm saying it begrudgingly. I want to do this. It's just I'm scared, I guess. I'll just be blatant about it. I'm scared. I don't know what is going to come of this. If I die, if
You worried that
I
you might
lose
die?
all my muscles. What if I lose all my fucking muscles?
I think you're overreacting. Just
think-
a little
I
bit
think
there.
you're
Someone
thinking
watched the last 3 episodes of Legend of Vox Machina.
I did. That's why
I saw Grog lose his muscles.
And it made me think, because if I lose blood magic and my blood is pumping through all of my muscles, I was like, oh, wait a minute. That could be, that could actually happen.
I think you're
Uh,
thinking too much into this, Jin.
I don't know, Velxus. We're dealing with gods and me losing powers. I don't know. This has never happened. I think this concern is very surface level.
This has absolutely happened to you before. And then it was returned to you when you made a deal with the new being.
Oh, yeah, true.
This has exactly happened to you before.
Jin goes, wait. No, I'll be all right. I am overreacting. I've been through this. This will be my second time.
What?
God, it sucks hearing that say out loud. This will be my second time losing my powers.
Homie lost his powers for less than 24 hours before.
I think we just need to take it just a step at a time, and we'll see what comes of it. If you really want to give it up.
I do. I think it just makes things right.
Okay. You guys heading out to go get this done?
Yeah.
Cool. You guys all head to
Immediate mood change.
the tribe mother's home. You step inside, and where there was like sort of that ritual circle the last few days that they never really cleared up after you guys had gone into Inocarus's domain through the ritual, instead is a stone table cleared away. Kane standing there leaning on his axe. Sasha, your mother, your father. No Merrick to be seen in the room. But you all step in, I presume, unless some of you are not going to be there for this.
I'm there.
Just right before we head in, if possible, are we gonna tell Kane what we saw last night?
No.
No. Okay.
Damn, character growth for Drell. You know what, Drell? You get a point of inspiration for that.
I already have inspiration. Do I get 2?
No,
Do I get to?
Aw.
didn't use it.
No. No, but seriously, like,
No, but for real though, yeah, no, we don't.
double inspiration.
We do not.
No,
We do
don't.
not. No. I mean,
Sticking to it. Here's 4 more
I
points
mean-
of inspiration.
but okay, hear me out. It could be helpful because they might know what it was that stole the power, and then they can figure out a game plan or whatever. Because this is kind of their business. Jin's
You know,
tribe's business.
I'm sure we'll figure out how to bring it up in conversation.
Okay, we'll do it after.
Yeah.
Maybe we should tell them before. What if?
No, well, let's just walk in and we'll figure out how to bring it up in
Okay,
conversation.
okay.
You guys all go.
I'll let you do it.
You guys enter this room. Like I said, Kane,
We
Sasha,
had
your
a
mother, your father, all
meditation
stand in it.
vision.
You have what?
We had a meditation vision last night.
You just say it out loud. You just say it as soon as you walk in.
Yep.
Everyone looks at each other confused and are like,
"Look at you."
I'm
What?
sorry, I just feel like it's something before. So
"What the fuck are you talking about?"
Okay, I kind of just stepped forward. So, what did we do last night? We communed?
Oh my god!
Sorry,
it
I'm
was me-
tired.
It was me, Jin, Drell, and Ben.
And you did commune, right? That's the spell?
It was not necessarily.
Nobody
It
touched.
was nobody community. We just kind of
was-
vibe checked each other. No.
Oh, it was Jin's
check.
meditation. Right.
We're just
right.
vibe
Yeah.
checking, man.
Check-
Just
we're
vibe
just-
checking, man.
We're checking the
Just-
vibes.
Just
We're
fucking
just-
interlocking minds and shit and discussing the
Interlink.
deities. What the fuck is up and what the fuck we're doing next?
The fuck is up, Kyle?
What the fuck is up? False and Hawkerus, what the fuck is good?
No, but in all seriousness, we, I don't know, shared a vision, and it was very unsettling. And whoever this imposter portraying themselves as Inocarus, we're able to talk to them and have somewhat of a small conversation. And I don't know how the rest of you walked away, Ben, Jin, and Drell, but I walked away pretty uneasy after that.
You say like,
Yeah.
how did we fall asleep last night?
Just overall, just walked away pretty uneasy. I mean, Jin, you were tossing and turning, not really having a fine time sleeping. I couldn't sleep, and just worried that whatever this unknown deity may be, they have certain motives at play that may not be entirely good.
We just thought you might want to know. 'Cause-
They're like they keep catching glances with each other. I'd say that Jin's father and Sasha both look confused, and Jin's mother looks more concerned than confused, and Kane's like, okay, so you all had like some sort of like group drug trip or something, and
No.
that's relevant to
I should be stated that wherever this thing was, and when we saw it, it was in a very dark realm with blood on the
It was
floor.
like we were like in a pool of
eyeball.
blood with a giant eye
okay,
floating
so
above us.
so exactly what you explained, or actually, your mother speaks up, Jin, and goes, so identical to what you explained when you told me the entire story of the jester being murdered. Identical
That-
scenery. Identical being on the other side. So you intentionally went and contacted him again.
Yeah.
And was there something that was discovered that we need to know about? Or is it,
It was mostly just to see for myself if I die and losing the power since he shields them. However, he's mostly driven by revenge.
Kane goes, Jin, I told you yesterday, this isn't gonna kill you. Why are you suddenly now thinking you're gonna die and going and contacting other gods to figure out whether you're gonna die?
I just thought that, like, because he gave the power.
Do you
in
want
some
me to
weird
kill
way, I
you
have a
or something? Because it
contract.
kind of seems like you want me to kill
No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
you. Make a persuasion check.
I hope you fail this.
I hope you found this.
What the fuck?
A 10? He goes, listen, I got everything I needed yesterday. I'm not a murderer. I'm not a murderer of people who don't deserve it. So
Good choice of words.
I had to be clear about it. I've had to do some things for Inocarus
No,
that
no,
involve
I-
people's
I
deaths.
under- no, I
it's
understand.
old, it's, you know.
I understand.
We get it.
Oh, you guys also murderers?
Sometimes.
Well, I mean,
Occasionally.
Sometimes. So you say sometimes, Ben?
Occasionally, yeah, it's true.
Oh, I was just mostly asking because I thought if I took the power from him, I was in another fucking contract situation, and I thought.
I mean,
like,
you
that
did.
was-
You made a deal for power, but you're also relinquishing that power. I mean, like
I
right
don't know
now.
how
So
that stuff works, man. I
I
was
mean, if
just a
you're not
mercenary.
willing to relinquish this power, there might be complications.
I'm willing to relinquish the power. Kane.
Okay, then I don't see the issue. I don't know why you guys go on group spooky god trips. I
do
don't know why.
I just deal with so many gods, man. It's just a lot of paranoia.
Right,
at
but
this
if that's
point.
the case, then why would you go talk to the guy you guys think is clearly evil?
Because we just want to get to know him.
Could've
Like,
been
what?
neutral.
Like, he could have
gives
not.
Drell the most confused look.
He means that in a go take down bad people kind of get to know, not
So you guys are gonna try to challenge a god. So
Probably
Jin
not.
the disowned is gonna
Maybe.
go fight a god. Is what's happening here.
Maybe. What about it?
Good luck.
Thanks.
I mean, I
Jin's like,
don't-
"Are we doing this?" And he starts taking his shirt off. I don't know how we do that. I don't know.
You
if
lay down on the fucking table and I'll handle it as long as everyone else is cool and we're not going to be trying to contact like evil deities during this.
Bro, just
No,
do
no,
it.
Jin, you
Yeah.
see
I just
Jin
give a thumbs up.
taking his shirt off, climbing on a table, and he points at everyone. Don't get in the way of this. And then he just
Got it.
closes his eyes and just
Jesus, you guys are making this
opens
way
up to
harder
it.
than it has to be. Fucking hell. He pulls like with like now that you guys are seeing this up close, you guys are watching him pull this axe out of his chest for the first time. I said he had it. No, I didn't say he had it when you walked in the room. Yeah, did he?
He pulled it out.
Okay, well, nonetheless, when you guys saw him pull it out, just because Valk says you would have been the only one who was like really close to it. It's like a gruesome thing. This is not comfortable for him when he pulls this axe out. But nonetheless, he has this axe, and Jin lays down on the table, and he steps up to Jin, and he starts to raise the axe. Is everyone in this room going to allow what's about to happen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch very cautiously
Yeah.
Let it
and
happen.
like on edge. I'm just gonna watch it.
Well,
Like,
what are we
very
gonna do
Okay.
about it?
I
Like,
need everyone for me. This is how do I want to do this?
I want to roll.
If you are even slightly hesitant to just allow this to happen, I need either a wisdom saving throw or a persuasion check of some kind to convince yourself and the other people in the room that you are not going to be an obstacle in this. Does your
I don't
saving
know.
throw add any bonuses to that, or is that just what your wisdom save is
Oh
as well?
shit! You said saving throw. No, it's still +2.
Okay, cool. Okay. You guys are able to contain yourselves and hold yourselves back as he takes this axe and slowly starts lowering it down to Jin's chest. The axe, Jin, makes contact right on your sternum. And he slowly starts to press, and you feel the jagged edges of the blade start to cut your skin. Doesn't phase you, though. You cut your own skin to draw blood
Yeah.
and catch it on fire all the time. As he pulls the axe a few inches down your chest. It's not deep, just scratching or like just making a cut, almost like a scalpel down your chest. A few inches. Instead of blood coming out of the wound, it starts to, as he pulls his axe away, rise up and attach itself to the axe and slowly being pulled out of your body. You feel like if someone attached your chest with a fishing hook and was pulling your skin. Your chest,
Holy shit.
you're resisting as your
gross.
chest is pulled away from you a little bit.
That's gross.
That's great.
Suddenly, the blood that's on his chest starts to take on a shape. Almost like a figure or like a miniature being is climbing its way out of the wound. And
Ooh.
very quickly, you guys see, made of blood, the Moorbounder form that Jin takes being like pulled out of his chest,
What the?
writhing in pain. You guys hear
What the
you guys
fuck?
hear like growling in the form of gurgling, and like the blood's being pulled. Jin, you start feeling excruciating pain, as if like your being is being ripped out of you. This
Holy
is much
fuck.
worse than it just being given to whatever deity made this deal with you before after killing Yol.
Ben's gonna wince.
You guys start seeing like around the wound almost starts to blacken a little bit as smoke starts to surround this being of Moorbounder form and is pulling itself out. It's still being sucked in by the axe and being pulled out of Jin, the smoke coming with it and also being sucked into the axe. As Kane is pulling, you guys start to see sweat dripping down, as this is a taxing type of ritual for him. It's not him just making a cut and pulling away the axe. He is literally putting his all into extracting whatever this is out of Jin. You guys start to see almost like a green, but like a sickly green swirl in the blood of this creature as it's being pulled out of his chest. Again, it's not large. The cut is only a few inches down his chest, but it's being pulled in as one claw gets attached to the axe and is being like drawn in. It's trying to pull the claw back and get back into Jin, but it's struggling. It's a gruesome watch. Jin, the pain is blinding. You start to lose sight in your eyes. You're starting to be covered with, you're seeing flashes of white and flashes of you being back in a forest, trying to attack your friends in a form different from your initial Moorbounder form, the very more beast than man form that you took the first time you transformed. You're seeing the flashes of Dreyll talking to somebody at the time that no one else could see. But then you see Yol appear. And for the first time, you're able to hear Yol's words, talking to Dreyll, telling him that he needs to help you contain this power. Contain this power. Contain this power. You just keep hearing that you need to contain the power. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh. Can I cast a spell?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You can
Oh
cast
my
a spell,
God.
but that means, is this because you're not liking what's happening?
No.
Okay, what is
guess
the spell
so,
you're
yes.
casting?
Detect magic, and I'm going to use a sorcery point to cast it as a
Subtle spell?
subtle spell. Yeah.
Okay. What are the normal components of detect magic? Is it just
Somatic
it's
and
verbal
verbal.
and okay? So yeah, use subtle spell. Everyone in the room is far too focused on what's happening to even remotely try to see what you're doing. You cast detect magic. You see that Kane is covered in different magical items, like hold on.
Riddled with it almost.
I'm gonna give you sort of like somewhat specifics. Give me a second. That
Freaking
axe
monster, though.
that axe is heavy magic, like unbelievable magic, as well as all of like underneath his like cloak in light fabrics. You're starting to sense like a ring mail that's glowing underneath. His mother has a magical staff that's in the corner of the room. And you see the blood that's coming out of Jin is magical and is very much so giving off sort of a divination color to it, a divination hue. Is there anything you're
there, like-
specifically trying to look for?
Yeah, like because I've cast this before. Was there like a specific aura around Jin that I would have noticed that seems to be like disappearing or changing?
No, there's an aura in the blood that's being taken out of him, but Jin is not like surrounded by a magical field in any capacity. He's not being like, nothing's been cast on him. There's nothing that's currently active around him, but whatever's being pulled out of him does have divination nature to it.
Okay.
That's all you can really get from that. There's no, I mean, other than that, you see all your friends' magical items.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
See magic on my ring finger.
Yeah.
But nothing's there.
Well, am I forgetting something? Can that thing go invisible?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that is the entire reason why I have it, is because it's invisible and no one sees it.
Nonetheless,
I think Ben knows about it.
I think everyone
Yeah,
knows
only Ben
about it
knows
because
about
they
it.
all saw you take it.
Well, that's true, but
You
nobody
paid
like
for it through.
exactly. But if I stop mentioning it, people
Right.
forget what it is.
Sure. Actually, Kelo and Mardor have no idea what
They have
we're
no
talking
idea.
about, so,
Nope.
yeah, cool. So, nonetheless, Jin, excruciating pain. It's getting worse, and your wisdom save is great. Actually, you felt like you were being overwhelmed by this conversation, telling Dreyll to help you contain your power, and then oh my god, he walked away. Bitch. I need him to come back.
Cut.
No, I'm leaving this in. Fuck him.
Okay, keep it rolling.
All right, keep it rolling.
I don't feel like editing this one.
Camera speed.
Sorry, my cat was getting into something.
It's fine. So, you hear this voice, Yol's voice that you've heard before, saying contain him, contain him, contain him, to Dreyll, trying to help you. But then suddenly those flashes become Yol trying to tell you to contain the power and pull it back in. And while the rest of you see Kane start to struggle and the beast seems to be pushing away from the axe, you see Jin grit his teeth and the beast gets pulled even further. At this point, it's nearly pulled out of him. You see claw down arm, down to shoulder, his right shoulder, this blood Moorbounder is being sucked into the axe, the shadow growing around it, this green, almost swirling acid in the blood as it's lashing out and trying to strike at the axe and being pulled out. Is anyone going to do anything while this continues, or is everyone sitting back?
Just gonna sit back and just kind of
Is everything okay?
Kane's gritting his teeth and grunting, but he doesn't respond to you. No one
You
in the
see
room
Jin
seems
just
to answer to you.
Dart a dirty look at you. Oh, you
Jin,
say
don't
that.
look down.
I finger
Jin,
guns
it's like
Jin.
excruciating, white hot, blinding pain at this
Yeah.
point. Like,
He just hears, is everything going all right? And Jin just like
make
like,
a
shakily
con
turns
save
his
for me.
head.
Childbirth.
Make a con
Yeah.
save for me, Jin.
Could I finger point and give him bardic inspiration?
Sure.
Yeah, roll.
You finger gun
It's
inspiration.
0.8 or a 1d8.
You
sorry.
might want to roll that bardic inspiration.
It's 1d8.
I will. Yeah.
Please.
No,
No, it
hold
didn't.
on.
It didn't roll. It didn't roll
I fucked it up.
correctly. It didn't roll correctly.
Roll 1 d8.
17. You feel yourself starting to lose consciousness, but you fight your way through it. And while the rest of you watch the legs and feet of this being, this blood gets fully pulled out of Jin as Kane wrenches the axe back and the whole thing gets pulled away, smashes into the axe, and the blood gets absorbed into the axe. And
Oh
Jin,
my God.
you collapse back down, that pulling on your chest gone. You guys look at Jin's chest and the wound, it's not properly sealed, but it's not bleeding. Jin, you in this situation took 10 points of slashing damage.
Oh my god, okay.
From this wound
Jin, are you okay?
being cut and opened and something pulled out of you. Additionally, Jin, you're taking 2 points of exhaustion. And
Okay.
Go fight today.
and outside of
condition.
this, you feel like everything you've known yourself to be has been sucked out. You guys don't see as like muscles have deteriorated in any capacity, but you've never felt this weak and exhausted in your life.
Jin is gonna try to pop up off the table and put on a brave face, and as he lands on his feet, he's just gonna lean forward and just fall flat to his face.
I want to go to try and catch him.
Here we go.
Dexterity saving throw, Valxis.
Here we go.
Wait,
I'm good.
can I have it?
Let's
Is
get back
exhaustion
out
giving
to.
me-
Exhaustion gives you it's disadvantage
ability
on all
check.
ability checks.
Okay, so not saving throws.
I would say your saving throw's fine for this.
Saving throws is 3.
25. You catch him easily enough.
Oh,
He's not
okay.
passed out, but you are like paler than usual, Jin, and like because he fell forward, now that wound is bleeding.
I will cast Cure Wounds
Okay.
on him as I catch him. I will do it at 2nd level just to hopefully guarantee that I heal him to full because
Sure.
Let's go.
You're full health. However, you are now a level 1 nothing. So
Oh no.
you don't have a class. You don't have a subclass.
How do I do that? HP wise.
We're gonna worry about your
Okay.
reclassing later. Right now,
Okay.
you're conscious and technically at full health, but your full health isn't much. You're virtually a commoner at this point.
Oh my god.
Kane
Oh my
Kane
God.
reels back and takes a seat. He's breathing heavily, the axe at his side, and he's just sort of getting his breath back after this.
all I can say, you didn't lose any muscles.
I'm
Somebody
fucking
help, he's gonna have you.
nothing.
I'll help him. I'll help him.
Thank you.
Vaxis ain't the strongest. It's like, Jin, I don't entirely... It's not even that you feel, like, empty. You almost feel numb to feeling. If that
All
makes
Jin
sense.
is feeling is just the pain he just went
Oh,
through. It's
yes.
just,
So
Jin-
you are weak.
That's all he's doing is just grabbing his fucking
Yeah.
arm. Oh god, just grabbing at his chest. And now I have these giant fucking scars going down my shoulders to my arms. Fuck.
Haven't you always had those scars?
Oh well, he has the new ones because like the thing was like digging at him while leaving, right? Or is that did I misinterpret?
No,
it?
you misinterpreted it. So it was coming out of your chest and it was trying to like bash away the axe. It wasn't clawing you.
Oh,
the slashing
okay, it was
damage was
clawing
from
at
the
Kane.
axe and the ritual in general.
Gotcha.
It was trying to
gotcha,
claw
gotcha.
Kane.
Okay.
So yeah, no,
Gotcha,
you're
okay, sorry. I
the only
misinterpreted.
wound on you is that chest, but now it's been cured. So
Yeah.
you don't have any fresh wounds on you. Just like just trying to catch his breath while he's like watching what's happening in the room. Doesn't seem like he's make an insight check.
Please, that's,
You're not making an insight check, Jin, because you are hardly conscious at this point.
Wait, who's making an insight check?
This was Aphelion, because Aphelion said, "How's Kane doing?" So Kane, from what you are able to grasp, looking at him, he's just gone through a taxing ritual and is catching his breath. That's all you can really get off of him right now.
Okay.
So,
Everybody all right? Jin?
We should probably get him a bed.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I can
No, you're not.
do so much more.
Be quiet.
if you
Don't
want,
let
if you want
this
him to
one
stay in
sit-
here instead of the guest chambers, we do have his old room that we could prepare.
Don't let this situation change. I can get right back into it.
You what's
Maybe-
Aphelion,
how are-
your passive insight? Sasha's like rolling her eyes at Jin, trying to be fucking Mr. Hero brave in the midst of this.
I'm rolling my eyes looking at this.
What?
I-
What?
Just
His mother says again,
a
"Do you
break.
want us to prepare him a room, or would you rather take him all the way back to the guest chambers?"
prepare him
could
a room.
Yeah.
Okay. She steps off into a room that none of you guys have seen anyone go in since you guys got here. And she's in there for a good 5-10 minutes if you guys want to talk about anything before she comes back out.
So what do you
Hey.
think happened to Jin? Like,
He's right there.
What? What do you mean? What?
like you
we
got like
watched it.
She's just raising fists. What? What do you? What?
I mean, like,
How do you feel?
yeah.
How do I?
Just,
In
ah!
pain? In pain is how I feel. That hurt a lot.
That makes a lot of sense. No,
It does make a lot of sense.
I am almost sad I was not able to see these powers in action after watching it leave.
Yeah.
You must have been very strong.
You did see him turn into the Weremoorbounder in the middle of the village last session, though.
Yeah, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Nothing martyrs
Yeah.
actually seen.
Just letting you know.
You should have seen him at the tournament in Pine Top. He was taking hits left and right.
I bet it was glorious.
Well,
Just. You just see Jin just cover his eyes.
Just starts crying. Yeah.
It hurts so much. What the fuck?
I never said it wasn't gonna hurt, to be fair.
No, I don't blame you, Kane. I'm just. I thought I knew what I was getting into, but it was just so much more. It was.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah.
but you didn't die.
I told you he wouldn't die.
I
You
know.
see Jin look up at you with a shit-eating grin. He
He
just
passed
falls
out?
asleep.
He passed
Yeah.
out? Okay.
No.
His mother comes out a couple minutes later and lets you guys like take him into his bedroom. A lot of stuff in here looks like it's collected dust. Like they didn't change anything after he left.
Is there a race car bed?
Yeah.
It's actually, instead of a race car, it's like they carved a giant wooden horse
Sick.
that he lays in. Guys, he was like 16 or 17 when he left. He's definitely not in a car bed.
And
You guys lay him down in his bed. He passed out.
What else is in his room?
Make a perception check or an investigation check, depending on how detailed you're looking.
Lots of wooden swords.
Absolutely. I let the strong people handle him. I immediately started casing his room.
Okay, cool.
Fuck.
Oh no.
You
that disadvantage too?
the first thing that you find in this room has you done investigating the rest of the room. Both of you. As you both go towards like the same direction of like, I'm gonna go look through Jin's shit. You get over to a drawer and you open the drawer. And the first thing you see is attached to a wooden like board, almost like it was ready to be hung up on the wall, but never was. And his parents probably didn't snoop through his room after he left. Is the head of a like Thrykeen type being, like an insectoid head, not from a Thrykeen, so it's not from a humanoid, but some sort of insectoid monster that he probably killed at some point on some sort of hunting journey and had like tried without help to like nail into this board, and it's been sitting in a drawer rotting away the 10 years he's been gone.
Nice.
And the three of you like open the drawer, and suddenly all three of you were just like stunned with the smell of this rotted like insectoid head that clearly wasn't prepared properly to be
I
mounted.
just close the drawer immediately.
And it really stops all three of you from looking into any of his other shit, because it could get real bad. However, you do see a barrel that is full of wooden swords. Just chock full of wooden swords, all different shapes, all different sizes, all different weights. Just tons of wooden swords. Oh, and you see he'd found a flat rock and placed it on the wall and carved into it with another rock, "No bows allowed." And it's just hanging on the wall.
That makes sense.
But you guys lay him down. He's passed out.
He'll bounce back.
He'll bounce
Right.
back.
He'll bounce back. It's like maybe like just an extra long hangover for him.
Did anyone not follow them into his bedchambers? Okay.
There we go.
What are you guys doing? Jin's passed out.
All right, let's go and move on. We'll move on to the next thing. Live him here for the next few months.
We'll be back.
Stays here and train.
See you
We'll be
later, Jin.
back
We come
later.
back.
You guys could totally leave him here if you wanted to.
Totally.
Jim, we're gonna go
but
take on that
no.
contract with the
Hey.
family now.
Oh,
See you
Bye,
later.
Common Jin.
Wait,
We're going to the mental plane of fire with Sheila. Bye, Jin.
if we leave Jin here, who's Valex's bodyguard?
It's true. I don't have a bodyguard then.
I can be your bodyguard.
I.
You want that?
No.
Alexis?
Be a hero, babe.
I would rather. Anyway. So
What?
we should go. I don't know. Hang out for a while. He's probably gonna be here a little bit.
Is there just like, I don't know, like, is it dangerous to walk around in the forest around? Because I kind of want to check that out. I mean, we just kind of rolled in, but
We should ask his parents.
right. Yeah, let's just should we have? And it's
Let's go ask their parents about the
His
rolling
parents will
around, and
keep
I
an
walk
eye on him.
walk out of his room.
Okay.
I was just worried that nobody would keep an eye on Jin. Yeah, that's okay.
So is everyone leaving the room now?
You'll.
Okay.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. You guys all leave Jin in his bedchambers. You guys step out. You see that Kane and Sasha are gone. And that his mother, his father, and Merrick are in this chamber now. And his mother is currently sitting in a chair with Merrick sitting on her lap going, "Your brother's going to be okay. We just had to do a little bit of a procedure. He was sick, as you saw yesterday. She's like trying really hard to be like, it was a lycanthropy sickness that we were able to cure. And Merrick's eating that shit up. He's like, oh no, he's going to be okay now? And she's like, yes, he's going to be fine now. He's been cured. He's not going to be turning into a monster like that anymore. Totally fine. And he's just asleep in his bedroom. And he goes, oh, can I go see him? And she goes, yes, but you need to be very quiet. He's sleeping. And he goes, okay. And then just runs past you guys and goes into Jin's room. And his mother and his father are sort of just like standing around. She's sitting and he's standing in the room.
Yeah, he's a heavy sleeper. I don't think any noise is gonna wake him up at this point.
You guys hear through the wall, ooh! As you assume the kid opened the same drawer that you guys did and then shut it.
That's fair.
Was that
So-
room never cleared out?
I don't know why we would clear it out.
Just
Listen, my husband may have disowned him, but I never did. And if my son ever decided to come home, I was going to have space for him. Granted, I probably should have gone through his belongings, but a mother can't do that. He was a teenage boy. I didn't know what I would find. It's not my place. And his father disowned him, the one who should have gone through his room and his belongings. And his father's just like, and just chooses not to say anything.
You might want to. There's at least one thing rotting in there.
Good to know.
Probably a couple.
I'll clear it out later. It's when he wakes up and leaves, inevitably.
I don't think he knows.
We used to go hunting when he was younger. He was part of multiple hunting parties with the elders, and sometimes would cut himself away some trophies. Never knew where he stashed them. Wasn't my place to go through his room.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
I don't invade my children's privacy. Thank you very much.
That's good. I like that.
Hide and
That's
seek
fine.
for sickness.
Well, if he got sick from it, that's his fault. Lesson learned. Teach him the hard way.
Many things here learned the hard way, I see.
Was just
I mean,
wondering
we're-
it.
A village built on survival. And if you can't survive, then why are you here?
Yeah. Anyways, was just wondering, are there any spots in the forest that are nice enough or worth enough to
Not
check
dangerous.
out? Well,
I mean, you
wasn't
guys
necessarily
seem
danger.
capable enough. I mean, like I said, I was taking
Yeah.
Jin out in those forests, hunting things from his teenage years. I mean, you guys probably be fine going out there. Just don't piss anything off that you shouldn't.
All right.
We keep these forests pretty clean. We have hunters who are out there on shifts at any given time. Most of our hunts are usually requested by the neighboring countries, and we travel out for a few weeks at a time and come back. So, for the most part, these forests are rather clear.
Good to know.
Are you guys leaving?
I would
Just
probably
gonna
have.
take a breath outside, gather ourselves, see what's next.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of crappy weather. Mist is out, so just stay aware.
Of course.
Jin needs this job. Probably pays him better than anything else he's had in his life.
Right, I should
take my
probably
leave.
pay him.
He's unconscious right now. You're going to pay an unconscious body.
I'm gonna wait till he wakes up.
How much does he make, by the way?
That's a good question. I don't.
Do you not know
really
how much you
know.
pay your employees? Is this how the winter lights operate? They just
No.
throw
This is how
money
I
because
operate.
they're so
No,
rich that they don't know how much they pay people?
No, this is how I operate.
That's insane.
No, I'm actually. No, I usually. Because we travel together and usually we find riches together. I just give him some of my money that we get, so he ends up getting more money.
Oh,
I think the last time I paid him a platinum.
for how long of work?
That's a really good question.
Because you could be like, oh, I paid him 1 platinum for 2 months of bodyguarding, and at that point, I'm like, damn, you're cheap. But if it was like, like 1 week, then I'm like,
I probably
damn, pretty
should
good.
pay him.
Like 2
I
months.
probably should pay him more, but I don't have.
How many times have you paid him since you met?
He paid me twice.
Have I paid you twice?
2 times. You paid him. You explicitly made
go-
a thing to pay him twice.
Jin is almost the
What?
freest bodyguard. No.
What? I go. So there was that one time when when we met each other in Greenest, and then
Met each other in Belloc.
Belloc. Greenest is the other campaign that I did. Oops. Belloc. And then again in Pine, again, and then in Pine Tie, and then in.
How long have you guys known each other?
4 months.
I should pay him more.
It is not my place to tell you how to pay your employees, or my place to tell my son to, like, demand pay for the job he's done, so...
I mean, he does get like part of like any treasure that we find.
Right.
Or if
But,
we
like,
find
are
any
you the
gold.
one setting the expeditions, and thus you would naturally be taking all of it anyways? Or is it supposed to be an equal trade thing, and he's supposed to get a little more because he's your bodyguard? Because it kind of sounds like what you're saying is everyone gets an equal share, so I shouldn't have to pay him, even though he's going out of his way to be my bodyguard as an employee. But he's not everyone else's
But like,
bodyguard.
this
so,
isn't
like,
a real like. This isn't like.
What do you mean it's not real?
His position is
It's not.
real.
It's not like. I mean, I don't know how best to put this. It was kind of mostly a. At the time, I needed a bodyguard, and he was the most fit. And then circumstances happened that while he was bodyguarding me, where now me and him feel obligated to do things together, to stop or to fix those consequences. I don't know anymore.
Why don't you just fire him and just have him get the equal share and not be your bodyguard and let you die if something happens?
Because I don't want to die.
But do you need a bodyguard?
Probably. I try to stay out of the fight.
Kind of
I
scans
need
the rest of you. Does he need a bodyguard?
Yes.
But are you not all technically guarding his body?
No.
You're not.
I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Never mind. No, it makes sense.
like I look at Drell with like, what the hell, man?
No, if
You
Jin's the
shot
only
me
one,
into a wall.
it was a brazier. Sure.
It was a brazier, okay?
Which is arguably more painful.
Okay.
On fire and made of metal.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to.
Seems
okay,
like you guys got a lot to work out, so I'm not going to get into your whole employer-employee relationship and your whole friendship dynamic or whatever the fuck you guys all are. So,
Good. Thank you.
the forests are what they are. Be careful. Enjoy your nature walk.
Will do.
Thank you.
You hear a clatter and a bang in Jin's bedroom. And then you see Jin's mother stand up and go, "Merrick," and you just hear, "It's okay. I got it. Don't come in."
Oh, what?
All right.
You heard him. You don't go in.
I'll take my leave.
Are you all going on this nature walk?
No.
Who's going on this forest nature walk? Just
Hell
Aphelion?
yeah.
Okay, Aphelion and
go.
Marador. Forest nature walk. The rest of you, what are you doing?
I want to go. I don't know where I want to go.
Kelo? What is Kelo doing while Aphelion and Marador leave to go wander the forests?
I want to go back to my room.
Says he goes well.
Okay, he goes back to the guest chambers. What are you doing in the guest chambers?
I'm gonna turn over finally that freaking thing that Bamboozle left me and see what's in it.
Let's go.
I've been carrying that thing around for months. IRL.
So
True.
Ben
is
would
anyone
like to go on
else?
the
Is
walk.
anyone else going? What are you doing, Valklis?
Ben would like to go on the walk.
Oh,
Yeah.
What did he mute himself in?
He has to stay muted
Yeah.
for a bit. He said sorry.
Where did he post that?
In the VC
left
chat.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
can't open that or else it fucks the cameras.
Yeah.
So
I'm going back to the room. Fuck it.
okay, so Ben, Aphelion and Marador go to the forest. Valxis, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Okay, Kelo and Drell go back to the guest chambers. Valxis, you're just left standing there with Jin's mother and father, as everyone else kind of just like goes their own way. Kelo and Drell.
Yep.
You take
Yeah.
this. It's virtually an aquarium. Glass
Okay.
tank, all on all sides. When you look from underneath it, black base, made of like some sort of hard rock material. But when you look inside it, it goes to the sky, right?
Yep.
You turn it upside down, and you're holding it upside down. Nothing's happening.
I'll give it a few shakes.
Oh, no.
You start shaking it. Nothing's happening. I need both of you to make Arcana checks at disadvantage, because neither of you are magic or have any idea how magic items work.
I'm
How do I do
Actually,
that?
Drell, you can make yours a flat check because I'll take the 17 because you have a fanny
Holy
pack of holding.
shit. I fucking did that? I rolled that high twice?
Yeah, you rolled a 19 and an 18. That was
That's
pretty
a
good.
-2.
Kilo.
How do I do it?
The
Hold
disadvantage.
control.
Yeah.
Hold
Hold
control.
control
and
and
click it.
click. Yeah.
Well, there it is. Oh boy.
A 9.
Oh.
So Kilo, you're shaking it, and then Drell, you remember that with your fanny
Oh.
pack of holding, it's not that you just have to turn it upside down. It's that you have to literally turn it inside out to get everything to fall out of it. So the idea of taking your fanny pack and just going doesn't do anything. Shaking it doesn't do anything. This is a pocket dimension of some kind, or a portal to a dimension of some kind. Neither of you know, but turning this tank upside down is not doing anything.
What are you trying to do there, Kelo?
Bamboozle told me there was like gold and stuff in it because people would try to feed him, and there was just tons of stuff that he couldn't eat.
Are you trying to so you're trying to shake it out?
Yeah, let's see what's in it.
Try to imagine that you can grab the gold and stick your hand into it.
Okay, I'll flip it back over and then put my hand in it.
Okay, you think about gold and you reach your hand in it, and you feel, and you're looking, and your hand, suddenly you put it in, and you're like, oh shit! As it's being blown by wind to the side, and you're like trying to pull your arm back out. Make a strength check for me.
Oh
God. It's like holding your arm out of
17.
Nice.
Yeah, you're fine. You pull your arm out, and you're like, it's like kind of cold. Like it was just like you had your arm out in the open sky.
Oh. What did I get?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. You want to give it a try?
What did you feel? What do you mean?
Nothing. It was just really cold, and my hand got
You guys want to stick your heads in
to
it?
the side.
Well, look, the other way we can do this is we can turn it inside out.
It is a glass container with a stone bottom. Turning it inside out is breaking it.
Don't worry, you can turn it.
I'm gonna look at it and see if I can kind of
You can
maneuver it so I can.
if you're
pull the
trying
sides or
to
something.
turn this inside out. Make a wisdom check, not a saving throw. A wisdom check. So just click the smaller number on your wisdom stat.
Oh man.
You could probably pull each side of this thing off and try to turn it inside out.
Oh my god.
Do you think that would work?
I mean,
Would it do something bad?
Drell, make a wisdom check.
Oh my
Not
God.
a saving throw, a check.
I mean, you've got the pack. It's kind of like the same thing.
Dude, he could probably pull each side of that and then put them backwards so that the stone part's the bottom, and that might be inside out.
I mean, it could be bad. Yeah, you're right. But what's the worst that could happen?
There's stuff. We got to get the stuff out.
That's what I'm trying to
No,
say.
that's
If we gotta get the stuff out, we gotta get the stuff out. You could take those two sides off and maybe peel it.
Yeah. Would my head fit in it?
You could try. I don't
if it's
know.
that big.
You could it's like squeezing your head in between the posts of a railing going down a set of stairs. You got a big head. So does Drell.
Right.
You could try. Who knows if you get your head back out, though?
Nah, I'm not going to try that. A little risky. I might lose my breath or something and suffocate or some shit.
Oh, there's definitely air in there. You felt that with your arm.
Oh, okay. Huh. I don't know what to do. I don't want to... I can't put my head in there. What do you think? Just break it?
You want to flip a coin?
Yeah.
All right. How do I flip a coin?
1d2.
One is
Wait, what?
heads, two is tails.
Yes.
What's what?
So what are
Green
you
is
calling,
heads.
heads or tails? Which one are
Green
you
is
calling?
heads, 2 is tails. What are you calling?
Call it, Kelo.
Green would
Heads.
be 2.
Heads we break it, or heads we don't break
Yeah,
it?
what are you saying?
Heads we break. Yeah, heads we break it. So what do you? All right.
Wait, Val,
so
are you in the room now? Have you decided to follow?
No,
Okay.
no. I was just clarifying
Okay.
for the group.
So you're saying heads you break it, tails you don't. One is heads, or red is heads, green is tails.
Let's just say heads we tinker with it, see if we can
Okay.
try to
I don't know how to roll it. I'm fucking
Slash
stupid.
roll space 1d2.
Slash R space 1d2. Also works.
That's a tails. Technically, by what you guys were saying.
So
what are you guys doing with it?
I look at Kelo and I'm like, it's tails. So technically, we don't do anything. But if you really want to do it, that just makes our decision.
Okay, you try reaching in there and see if you can get anything.
Fine. I go to reach in there.
You reach your whole arm in, and suddenly it's whipped in the other direction. And you're like trying to pull your arm back out as the wind is pushing it towards. Think about being in a fast moving car, but that car is going like 130 miles an hour. Like it's being like whipped to the back of the window, and you're trying to pull it back in. I need you can give me a strength or a dexterity check, a saving throw of either. Dexterity save. You are able to like make your arm in the way that people do outside of cars, where it can be aerodynamic and move through it, and you just and pull your arm back out. It's cold. That's some cold air in there.
Did you feel a bottom when you reached into it?
No, it's just air.
All right, I'm gonna take out my pole arm. I'm gonna very slowly take it out of my fanny pack. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you very slowly take your quarterstaff out of your...
And I'm going to stick the quarterstaff into the vase or whatever.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, it's gone.
Your quarterstaff gets blown to the side, and you're trying to hold on to it, but it's being pulled away, and you let go of it, and you look down into the tank, and you see the quarterstaff just disappear into this expanse of sky.
Where'd it go?
I don't know. I don't know if we should break this. Maybe we should ask like a Philion or something if we should break this. A Philion or Ben would know. I mean, I think we should break it. I think that's the best way to get it open, to get the gold out. But I don't, at this rate,
you gotta get your staff back now.
I don't use my staff. I mostly use my staff to poke things. Like,
yeah, but I don't want to lose it. It's good stuff.
No, it's fine. I'll just pick up a stick later.
Okay.
But like, I mean, listen, Kelo, we don't hang out as much. Do you want to have a fun time where we smash this vase and just see what happens?
I don't want to make a mess.
Oh, it's gonna make a mess.
I mean, you guys could. I mean, like I said, from both of your wisdom checks, you guys could just like like a fish tank. The glass is like kind of glued at the corners. Like you could pull each side off if you wanted to.
Oh, it'd just peel off. Okay.
Not peel. It'd be a hard thing to bust it off. But it's
it's
like breaking down a cardboard box, but it's way harder. You're not smashing the glass. You're just pulling the sides off.
We're gonna break this, and it's gonna.
How does that sound any better?
The roof is gonna fly off this building.
I rolled a 9 and a 10 wisdom checks. That's how I'm making it sound.
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna set the box down, and I'm gonna try to on one corner. I'm just gonna try to pull it a little bit. I'm not gonna try to break it really easily, just to see if it cracks.
You need to make a dexterity saving throw. I want you to understand. This is gonna be like knowing your own strength versus trying to separate these pieces. 13. You start to pull on one side. I mean, how are you? Do you have your hands on any of the other sides, or are you just pulling one side?
I have my left hand on one corner.
You're trying to pull one.
My
side.
right hand
You're
on the
trying to
other.
Pull one side.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It has a little bit of give with your strength, but you are cautious enough, at least right now, that you're not putting your strength into it to separate these two pieces. But you could do it if you wanted to.
Just be careful. Just be careful. Don't overdo it.
I'll try a little bit harder.
So are you intending to pull this side off?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull this side off.
Okay, make a strength check for me. Not a saving throw, just a strength check. Okay, You start pulling, and you're like trying to be careful, but also put your strength into it, and you're getting like a little nervous. Drell, do you want to help him at all, or are you just watching him do it?
I guess I can help. Yeah.
Okay. He holds one side as you pull the other. Roll another strength check for me. This is just giving you advantage, basically. 13. You start to pull, and you hear like the adhesive, whatever it is, start to pull away as you see like a little like slit in the corner start to open from the top as it's being pulled away from the other side. You want to keep going?
Yeah.
Another strength check at advantage.
I'm committed now.
Go.
At advantage?
Yeah, at advantage. Because he's helping by holding the other side. A 9. You're starting to pull, and you're pulling. I need Drell to make his own strength check at this point.
Dude, we are just teasing this thing.
I'd like to imagine if we cut to like
11
years later.
You guys are pulling, and it's a struggle. It's not like breaking. You probably just have to put a little more into it to do this. Now, logic, Drew, says that if you get angry, you could probably have a better time at pulling this thing.
Well, I'm too nervous to get angry. It's
Frustration
in the back
at
of my
something
mind. I'm like,
not
this is
working
a bad idea.
could also be something that triggers rage. But
True.
if you don't want to be raged right now, that's fine.
No, I'm not.
I need
raging.
another advantage strength check from you. You have 1 failure, 1 success so far at pulling this thing apart. An 18. You like really settle in and start pulling. Drell, you're holding your side, and you have to start pulling back as like he's pulling because it's starting to move the whole tank. He puts his all into it and starts pulling, and you feel the entire panel that you're holding on to, Kelo, peeling away from the rest of it. You get about halfway down the thing. It's like halfway off. You committed?
Yeah,
Strength at advantage.
I have to now.
Actually, instead of strength at advantage,
Oh.
no, it's a 20. What would your athletics have added instead of +3?
+6.
+6, so 23. With one last like heave, you pull off an entire side. Drell, you kind of like make a dexterity saving throw. I'm sure you'll be fine, but
I win these.
I'm sure.
nope.
Oh my god.
You try to like stop, like he pulls away, and then you're still pulling your side or like holding your side firm while he's pulling, kind of like making it so the tank doesn't move. He pops his side off, which you're not expecting, like the release of the pull in the other direction, and you pull your side, the whole tank comes with you, and the piece that you're holding hits like a bedpost and shatters. So now he's holding an entire panel of this glass. Your side shatters. There's 2 sides remaining. And wind starts firing out of this thing as the other 2 pieces fall off.
Oh,
and now there's
shit.
this base that is an opening to the sky. And wind is starting to whip around this room. You guys are seeing as like it gets stronger and stronger. You 2 are very like buff, heavy dudes, so you're not feeling impacted by this wind. But in the beds that are around you guys, blankets start whipping up and flying around the room as you guys start to hold yourselves. I need a strength saving throw from both of you.
Oh my god. I hope we get sucked in and nobody knows where we went.
Yes! Yes! Yeah!
Suck me
My head was too big. My head was too big.
Suck me in. Take me.
See ya, suckers!
To explain how this goes, the base has no one holding it now. And it kicks up into the air and is floating in a central space as wind is whipping around it. And then from one side, Drell, you see the stone underneath start to crack, break. And from underneath, you're seeing the same sky that Kelo's seeing from the other side. As you've now ripped open a portal to the elemental plane of air that is in this space, Kelo, I will give you a secondary. So each of you have to succeed 3 strength saves. Drell, you already have -2 because you rolled a nat 1.
Let's go.
So right now, both of you are
God.
at least 1 failure and 2 failures. Okay. You now have, we're taking this like death saves. So right now you have 2 failures, 1 success.
fuck. Oh, Drell fails
We're going
one
to do
more
Drell's
time.
first. We're going to do Drell's first. So Drell, you have to roll higher than a 10, like an 11 to.
Oh, that's
Oh no, that's
Kilo,
it.
I need more strength saves from
No way.
it. That was easy, bro. It's like
Okay,
you
it's
wanted
1
me to
success, 1
fail.
failure. 2 failures.
You'll fail with me. Fail with
Oh,
me.
God.
Fail with me. Fail with me.
No.
Fail with me. Please, it'll be
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
Another success.
It'll be funny. Fail with me.
You can let yourself go if you want to fail with him.
No.
3
Okay.
successes. What happens in this circumstance?
Blue's could do. They can too.
I want to paint you guys a picture.
Mhm.
This portal doesn't look like a portal, but it's a tear between planes, between where you guys are now and the elemental plane of air. Drell, you find yourself sort of in awe at the stone cracking in front of you, the wind whipping around the blankets, and you feel yourself get dragged towards the portal. That's your first fail. You get dragged real close, and you feel like your detached, floating horns are like
Ew.
pulling you towards the portal. You sink one of your claws into the ground, and you feel confident, like, I'm good. I can hold myself here. Until a pillow comes flying off one of the beds and hits you in the face, and you recoil backwards and fall into the elemental plane of air, wind catching you. Kilo, you
Can I try
feel
to catch
yourself-
him?
Hold on. You feel yourself sliding towards the portal, and you're grinding your feet into the ground. With the final 2 successes is you taking your axe out and wedging it into the ground and holding yourself down. You are actively going to be putting your hand in the elemental plane of air through the portal to try to catch him. This is going to be a significantly high DC check to save him.
It's okay.
You have to hold yourself on your axe without letting yourself be pulled into the elemental plane of air. You had 2 failures. You felt yourself being pulled in. Your strength alone was something that was not containing you. If you're attempting to reach him, I need Drell to make a dexterity saving throw and Kilo to make a dexterity saving throw. You both need to get higher than an 18.
Oh fuck. Oh. Let's go.
As
No way.
you reach in, he's like arms out, flying into the elemental plane of air, and you get to the end of your axe handle and grab him. And you are currently, Drell, you are flailing in the elemental plane of air right now, being held on by Kilo's arm. Kilo, what's your swinging arm?
My right one.
Okay. Which arm would you be holding on to Drell, and which arm would you be holding onto the axe?
Left. Be holding Drell.
Okay. Drell, make a perception check for me.
Bro, this is spicy. This is a good beach episode.
Drell, you're panicking. You
Yeah.
look around and you're just in the sky. There is no land below you. You don't even grasp what below you is if you weren't seeing to where Kilo is currently grinding his feet into the ground and holding on to you. Kilo, I need you can make an athletics check to be pulling him in. You need to succeed 3 athletics checks to have the strength to pull him back in. Because you were making strength saves just to pull your own. No, not in a row. 3 total.
thank
If you get
goodness.
3 failures, these have to be higher than 15. I'm telling you the DC now.
Oh boy.
Higher than 15 athletics checks. If you fail 3, he slips out of your hands. If you succeed 3, you pull him out.
Let's
He is
go.
It's okay,
he is
I'm
an
strong.
extremely heavy dragonborn who's being totally body pulled by the wind in the elemental plane of air.
Okay.
So you've caught him. You now have to pull him out with one hand. One
Okay.
success. 2 successes.
Okay.
3
Let's
successes.
go.
Kelo,
I'm so fucking strong.
with
His
the
body
way this
playing a bear.
happens, Drell, I need another perception check from you. An 11 again. Drell, you grasp your other hand onto his arm and just like try to help him by pulling, like not pulling. You don't want to pull him in, so you're letting him do everything. He's pulling you in. Kelo, you're gripping your axe. It's like wedged into the ground, and you're pulling with one arm as you pull towards, pulling him in. Drell, what you notice is from the other arm that's holding the axe is a flash of purple and like purple light that starts from under his wrist and starts going up his arm in unnatural ways across his chest, this glowing purple light down his other arm into his hand, and it surges as he takes one final pull to pull you in and throws you behind him. You're now not at risk of being pulled in, even though the wind is whipping around this room, but you guys need to get out of here. And as soon as he drops you in the room behind him, where you're far enough away from the portal, that purple surging light disappears.
What the fuck?
You guys got to get out of here. Like, you
Let's
both
go.
sense how bad this is.
We gotta go. This is bad.
I'm getting out of there. Running out.
Meanwhile, Ben, Aphelion, Marador.
Meanwhile,
It's a misty, overcast day in the forest. Aphelion, you're dealing with a point of exhaustion, having not slept the night before. You know that some of your other friends are back there. Jin's asleep. Valxis is tired. Drell and Kelo are just hanging out. You guys go strolling off into the woods. It's a forest. Trees. You guys see small critters, hear birds. Is there anything you three want to discuss while you're out here?
I just wanted to like bring up like kind of, I guess, what's in store for us.
There's no telling.
Yeah.
Do y'all plan on bringing Jin with you after seeing?
If he wants to come.
It will be
Mhm.
dangerous for him.
It's always been dangerous, but yeah, more so now.
We will have to put him in a bubble.
I don't think we need to do that.
We can figure it out. We can bubble wrap him.
Yeah, and I know Drell keeps going on about making other deals and contracts, but I don't think that's just the way to go. That just kind of seems like the easier path and more of a short-term thing to a very long-term problem. But yeah.
Yes,
Hey,
it'll
Ben, I
be
had a
fun.
quick question.
Ben?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. That tea you drank, did you actually, were you, like, the taste fully there, or is it just, like...
I said, like, tea with lemon.
Alright.
He's questioning whether or not you have grave mouth. Whether you have taste buds.
I just asked because occasionally, sometimes, like last night I noticed, there were very long moments where you just weren't breathing, and I got a little bit worried. Like there would be some some chests like rising and falling, and then it would fall, and then just nothing would happen for like 25 minutes.
Do I not breathe when I sleep?
That's kind of what it looked. I could have just been really tired last night and not being able to sleep after that mess with the vision and the eyeball and the smoke as another thing that is going to be keeping an eye on us, and I don't really like that much because it seems like we have a lot of things that are just kind of keeping track of us. And I don't really know what to do about that, and it's kind of just something that's just always on my mind as like, oh, we just like, go to the next town or turn another corner, and then we run into a situation where it's like, oh, there's the phoenix, or there's another giant dream snake, or just a big red eyeball that really likes a lot of blood. Like, I know, and it was kind of like Jin's thing. I know Jin's thing was like blood, but that was like an exorbitant amount of blood from that big red eyeball. So, yeah, I'm just kind of trying to get my thoughts in order and relax a little bit. But
Seemed like we, but I don't know, by no fault of our own, possibly, but we've kind of been the center of attention for a lot of things. There's every adventuring party kind of. I mean, in the past, 1,000 years, it hasn't been this exciting. These past few months.
Really, for the these last few months, nothing like this has happened for the last thousands of years.
Well, I mean, you hear stories of stuff happening. Dragons reigning, dragons falling. Kingdoms rising and falling, but nothing directly I've been attached to.
So all of these stories you just read about?
Well, read or heard from the people that live them. I can't say I've previously taken the necessary steps to, as Vaxus wants to make a story out of it, It just kind of followed.
Vaxus does keep saying he wants to make stories and all that, but I'm just like, is it right of me to assume that with the time that you've been here, you've read a lot of stories? How should you help Vaxus write a story? Like, should you just like work on one together to like get the elements right?
I mean, I've read a lot. I was never really properly taught that language. Plus, there's things just kind of come to me. I can understand things. I've written a little bit, but I haven't really. I don't know how to even start in terms of writing. So, I mean, if he read it out loud, I could tell him if it sounds good, but I don't know if I could, edit him.
Be Valxis's editor. Hopefully, I gotta be honest with another thing, is, we get like you said before, we get a lot of center of attention. We make a mess everywhere we go. I gotta say, between the three of us, Marador, you haven't been here that often, but especially with me and Ben, I feel like that we, right now, with the three of us, haven't gotten into that huge of a mess. Or at least the group. But I gotta say, for Jin, Valxis, and Dreyll, I mean, those guys are always up to things. Marder, are you familiar with the fire that's been going on in the Empire?
The fire? No.
No.
They've been what you could say under a rock.
Well, so little fun piece of information. That fire's us. Well,
You
on
what
accident.
kind of fire?
A big one in the middle
A
of the
literal
forest.
fire.
No
Like-
longer my fault.
Like you are responsible for a raging fire. It is still going?
Uh,
I feel like you'd seen
Yeah.
smoke. You'd seen smoke from that direction off in the distance as the airship was coming.
yeah.
As if either
how
it's
long?
being currently put out or has been put out, but the damage is still like smoking out.
Oh, it must
How?
have been 2.5 weeks ago.
The fire itself was before you guys even went to the Hags. It was
Oh,
on your
so
way
that must
north to
be
the
like
Empire for the
3 or
first
4.
time. We're talking like 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah. About a
You
month ago.
You are the reason for a large forest fire that went on for weeks?
Yeah, you as in us as the group, but specifically, if we really want to point at somebody, I'd say it was a group effort with the majority being Dreyll.
If he never threw that torch onto the deck of the ship, it wouldn't have exploded.
Yeah.
We threw a
That-
lit torch onto a crashing airship.
I don't know what you guys
I
are
have
talking
to
about.
say,
But
I am
honestly,
impressed.
with the time that we've been together, even with that fire going on, I still wouldn't choose anybody else to adventure with.
Aw.
so- Yeah.
I think it is a
Bozo.
very
Bozo.
impressive feat to have started such an impressive fire.
It really is. It really is.
Not
Just
many people could bring so much destruction.
no, not many people can brag about setting a massive forest on fire. That's true, and it was from a ship explosion. So yeah, it
To
wasn't just
conquer
any
the
normal,
forest.
any normal
Good
fire.
job.
Proud of you.
She'll like clap him on the shoulder and just be like, "You are with powerful people."
I am, and come to think of it, I really think that it probably wasn't the best move to bring Dreyll to another forest after that happened.
This is true. We are in another forest. Are you going to?
I mean, it's just like it every time, everywhere we go, it's just kind of like I'm just thinking of ways that they can
Man,
explode.
fucking
Or be
hate
destructive.
nature.
And it's just like it just makes me. It's just kind of
It
nervous.
is like your
seeing,
calling card.
like seeing,
Setting forest on fire.
like seeing a child
You
run
are
with
right in the
a pair
middle.
of scissors. Like every time I just see Dreyll walk off with like something that can start a fire, like he can. It's really scary sometimes because he can just have something that like he would be in water and somehow just a fire could catch. He could be in the middle of an ocean and he would
I
just explode. And that's
love
honestly
to
one of
see
the things that I really like about Dreyll is that he can just make things happen that really shouldn't happen.
He rains fire down upon
context
the
that,
things he touches.
the
It
context
is
that-
wonderful.
That Cass and Drew don't have right now is that in like the second session ever, Drell went into a tent and set the whole thing on fire, burning 3 bodies to ash. And
Oh
like,
God,
yeah,
Again,
Good
I
lord.
don't go with the big deal.
that was funny.
he
until
was
it
like,
wasn't.
I
Good
thought
God,
it
what
would
the fuck is
scare
wrong with you?
away some wolves.
Oh
Because
my
I
God.
googled that wolves are afraid of fire.
Jeez.
And Corey
Amazing.
was like, "Not in my world."
I
they're
was like,
not."
dude, these are aggressive wolves that want you dead. You setting a fire is not gonna stop them. Maybe you threw the fire at them, but instead he just lit an entire tent on fire. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, continue.
so
That's it for me.
Okay. Ben and Marador, you guys want to talk about anything else during this nature walk, or
Not in particular.
okay? Valxis,
Hmm.
gonna see if he unmutes.
This Valkyrie.
Yeah.
There he is.
What's
Just
up?
making sure you're here. Valxis, you're chilling in the tribe leader's tent with Jin's parents. Is there anything you want to specifically talk about, or are you just gonna sit in silence for a bit?
I don't know.
If it's an awkward silence you want, it's an awkward silence you'll get. They're not addressing you particularly.
No, I'll just I'll kind of just like go up to Jin's parents. I'll be like, so like, I'll go up to his dad specifically. I'll like look at his dad. Jin pisses you off, right?
Too blunt.
Does your son just fucking annoy you?
His general presence, or
Just, I don't.
he
I
doesn't.
guess-
He doesn't piss me off. I believed that I had raised him better than what he turned out to be before he left. I thought I'd raised him to be a warrior, but not someone who hunts for sport and trophy, and instead hunts to protect. And in quite possibly the greatest show of the opposite, I was disappointed and angry to the point of choosing to disown him. He was being groomed to be the champion of Inocarus. He was supposed to be gifted the highest honor that anyone in our tribe could ever be given. He was educated and trained, and he seemed to love the concept, and we weren't forcing him into it. But slowly, he started to compete with his peers to a degree where safety was not a concern. Being the best was. And that didn't come with any repercussions until it did. And when it did was his final trial with his peers. Individuals around his age. You've met Kane, you've met Sasha. I don't think you've met Tina or Razakiro. But the 5 of them had gone out with Cassandra, the 6th. And together as a unit, they were going to take out a pack of Moorbounders. It was known to us that one of them was quite larger than most get, and they were encroaching. Their pack was moving towards a rather small farming village. Their goal was to go out and take out the pack. But the whole point is that they are also a pack, and they should have preserved the safety of each other over the sport of hunting down these monsters. And that's something that Jin, I guess at the time, hadn't learned. He was battling with the rest of them against this pack of Moorbounders, and he knew that Cassandra was in danger, but thought it more important to continue the battle against this pack leader, this dire Moorbounder, as some would call it, and take its head over saving that of Cassandra. He felt that completing this mission and taking the head of this beast as a trophy to bring back to the village was more important than preserving the lives of his kin. And he marched right back into the village with that Moorbounder, his body slung over his shoulder, while Kane was carrying the dead body of his friend. So I made Jin skin that Moorbounder, take its head off and wear it around as a sign of embarrassment. And yeah, I disowned him. He was supposed to be the champion of Inocarus, but someone who doesn't have mercy, who didn't have a care for his own kin over his own trophies, wasn't prepped enough, wasn't mature enough, wasn't prepared enough to be the champion of Inocarus. And he was my son. He was the tribe leader's son, the tribe mother's son. It was an embarrassment to us. We're the ones who raised him. It's a reflection of us that he would make those decisions and lose one of his kin instead of saving her life and having to come back to fight a monster. So yeah, I mean, he pissed me off. And one action could be forgiven. I could have learned to get over it and move past it if Jin had only learned from what he did. But instead, what he did was he took that embarrassment and he moped around here like everyone was against him. And he quit. Instead of trying to make amends and work to be better and work for the tribe, he left. He took everything that he felt precious to him and he left. In the middle of the night, just gone. Which means I raised him worse than I ever thought. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, he does piss me off. Do I think he's come back a different man than he left? It's been nearly a decade. Yes, I do. Do I think he showed some sort of growth when he stepped out in front of Cain and admitted his faults and was ready to willingly give over the power that was stolen? Yes. Do I feel love for my son? Of course. Did I act irrationally in the moment way back then? I don't believe I did. I was hoping that maybe he'd grow and learn from his experiences, and he didn't do that until after he left and met whoever he had to meet along the last decade to be better. So, however you need to gather that information and put it into that shiny sapphire-horned brain of yours, do it.
Thank you for just giving me that.
Make an insight check.
I'm good at those. I'm good at those.
He's welling up a little bit, but is too like stone to let a tear roll out of his eyes.
Yeah, I think I saw that last night when you checked in on Jin. I didn't sleep last night. I was too worried about him.
I know. I saw you.
But you should tell him. Because he doesn't know. He doesn't think you care about him. He thinks you hate him. And I be eating my own words, but I see you and his relationship like mine and my mother's. I'm terrified that she hates me. But I know deep down she probably does care about me.
Do you need her to tell you that she doesn't?
It would make things in my head a lot easier if she did tell me she hated me. Or maybe I would stop overthinking things.
Yeah, we'll see. In that moment, you suddenly hear screams from outside of the main hut. How are you reacting? You see his father immediately tenses up and runs outside. You guys both run outside, and you see just things being sucked into the guest chamber, the guest building that you guys have been staying in. And you see Dreyll and Kelo pulling themselves away from the building.
I don't know what happened.
What?
You run over to the two of them if you want. I mean, yeah. You as you're getting closer, you're feeling like wind pulling you, like you're fighting against high winds during a hurricane or a blizzard. Like you're feeling that coming from that building. You're starting to hear creaking as the wood of the structure is bending inward.
What did you do?
The box broke.
Deception
The
check
box?
for sure. I don't even care if you
I'm
guys
not.
don't want to
I'm not lying.
I know, but saying the
not
box
lying, it
broke is
broke.
not saying
The
we
box
ripped
broke.
it apart. Come on, you know there's an intention and or persuasion.
I'm
then.
not lying.
No, he's coming across like fuck. That shit just broke. I don't know.
What do you mean broke?
It's just split open. I don't know.
What's going on?
It
And you
goes
see
split
that his
open,
father is like
eh?
running around, like trying to figure out what's happening. You see people are running away from adjacent buildings.
Well, shit.
I mean, the door's open if you want to try to like get a look from a distance.
Sure, I'm
Make a perception check.
look. I'm good at those. It's not good at those.
You see, like, you look through the door, and all you see is the sky.
I did this.
What? Why is that? What is that? What is that? What?
Bamboozle said there was stuff in the box, so we tried to get stuff out of the box, and
So you
broke.
broke the box?
it broke, and
It broke?
Dreyll got sucked into it, and I pulled him out, and here we are.
I almost died.
We didn't even know what the box was. Okay.
You see a snap in the door as it flies off the hinges and gets sucked into the sky and just disappears.
What do we do?
Make an
I
Arcana
don't
check.
No.
Noxus.
I would love to know.
Natural
Oh my
20.
God!
There's very clearly been a tear to the elemental plane of air. It's currently it's at its strongest, which might rip apart the building it's inside. The wind that's around it in this vicinity, you're at a point where as this is an uncontained tear into the elemental plane of air, that anything could get into it, anything could come out of it. And if people don't, there's gonna be destruction of at least that guest chambers,
If not more.
but it's not gonna grow. It's not like it's being forced open any further than it already is. The tear exists. It is at its peak. It's going to probably rip this building into it. Anything could come out of it at any given moment. It is a current threat, and you don't know how to deal with it.
We have
Even
all
with
our
a natural
shit.
20. Well, you do.
Oh
Well,
my
actually,
God.
you knew about the tear into the Feywild, or the portal into the Feywild in the Hag's Hut. I would say that, it needs to be contained, but you don't even know whether or not the people who can contain it, or people who know how to contain it, are in any way in this village.
Yeah. Cool.
And Jin is also unconscious in the tribe leader's hut. Yeah.
Great. So I immediately relay to everyone. Okay, so that is a tear to the elemental plane of air.
You just immediately hear Jin's father go, "What?"
Yeah. So
He's like, he
Good
stops
thing-
listening to you and runs off. Because he seems to have some sort of idea that, something needs to be done. And he's
good
gonna
thing
get something
is
done.
it's not gonna get any bigger. Bad thing is that it's probably gonna take the house. Now, second bad thing, anything can come out of that. Third bad thing, anything can go into it. So we need to find a way to stop it.
How long are you guys going for a
Where's
stroll
Ben?
out in the forest?
Oh,
Because this probably happened in 20 minutes after you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
left. So I don't know when you guys are trying to wrap around.
An
wrap
hour.
around.
Huh?
Wrap around.
An hour at least.
An hour? Cool. They're gonna be gone for another 40 minutes. And unless you cast a
I
setting
was
spell of
going
some
for
kind to
yeah.
contact them, they're gonna be gone in the forest somewhere.
I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't I cast sending? I have
Go for it.
I literally have it. I will cast a sending to Aphelion.
Mhm.
All right. So, off. What?
I'm counting.
Sorry.
Mm.
Bamboozle's box broke. Opened tear to air elemental plane. I don't know how to close it. What
Nine
the
left.
fuck?
You got 6 left.
I don't need it.
Okay, cool. You say that. Aphelion, you get that message.
Shit. We need to go back. Out loud and in the message sending, I'm saying that.
Okay. I need just for fun. Give me a survival check at advantage.
You got it. So that's gonna be just a straight roll because I'm exhausted.
Yeah. 19. Easy to find your way back to the village, especially since once you start getting closer, you hear screaming.
I would have liked to beforehand to see if I can go a bit faster, just wild shape into a panther and run in, and then once I get to the
Okay,
village,
are you leaving Mardor and Ben behind? Because they cannot keep up with you.
Yeah.
You're leaving them behind?
Just gonna try, I feel like that there's
What's the movement
pretty
speed of a
much
panther?
50.
And you're dashing, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
100 feet per second versus 60 Mardor.
60.
Do you have more than 60 or is it still 60? Or 30?
30.
Okay. So both of you running at your full speed and him running at his full speed, assuming you've been walking for 20 minutes just out into the woods, I need both of you to make survival checks to see if you can keep track of him as he dashes off.
So good.
Double time
So good
back.
at these. So good.
Ben?
Save us, Ben.
What's the roll again? Sorry.
Survival?
Survival.
Survival.
Can't be that hard. It's just one small forest.
24! Mardor, you lose him and you're like, fuck, I don't know how to get back. I don't know what being, like, how to mark, I've been, fuck. And Ben's just, like, going in a direction and you're like, I'll follow him! Whatever!
He looks confident. Let's go.
So I would say Aphelion gets back in like a good 5 to 10 minutes. The other two of you take an additional 5 minutes to get there. So Aphelion, you come sprinting in as a panther. You see a few warriors who have like sort of set up a perimeter. Turn to you, a couple of them bows drawn, like ready to fire at a panther that's just come sprinting into the camp.
I immediately just put on like all fours, put on the brakes, stop, and then wild shape back into.
Okay. They don't relax their bowstrings. They 180 and stare back at the tear. And you see at this point, in like the 10 to 15 it took you to get back, Valxis, Kelo, and Dreyll, whole building, snap, crunch, planks flying off into the portal or into the tear to the point where the building does not exist anymore.
Oh fuck.
Damn, good thing we weren't in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is happening?
A box broke.
It's been 30 minutes.
The box broke, Aphelion.
You can make a nature check to determine whether or not you have the ability to close this or keep it tame in any capacity. 15. You're like, it's a terror.
And my immediate thought is to try and break the tear.
What are you gonna do?
Oh god.
There's no seams on it. Just suddenly there is just sky encompassing a space.
Interesting. I got nothing. I don't think I got anything to deal with that.
You guys see Jin's father comes back and he just shouts out, "We're gonna have to guard this for now. It's gonna take a few days to get the things we need to at least put some sort of seam or door on it. Contain it. We need watches 24/7. Jesus Christ, come on.
I look at
whatever
I
God
look
he
at
says.
Dreyll and-
Chris, God.
I look at Drell and Kelo and I
Man,
go,
that whole idea of
You
Jin
too.
getting in the good side with his dad and learning how to make potions is
dwindling.
Well, you're going to be exhausted for 2 days anyway, so it's probably going to take 2 days of sleep for you to get rid of that exhaustion in the first place.
well, I know, but even like now after the relationship of even having these shitheads around, this window went from this to fucking
Yeah. I'd say at this point, Ben and Marador come running up. You see the same scene everyone else sees. Your guest chambers are gone.
Has anything tried to come out?
As far as we're aware, not yet. But when a tear stays open for this long and there are things that want to come into the mortal plane, they will.
Great.
I need everyone to prepare themselves. We're taking shifts. I don't know who did this or why you've brought a gateway to the elemental plane of air into our village. There will be repercussions, but we'll deal with that after we get this under control.
When he says, I don't know who did this,
I don't even know we had one.
I just the most fucking deadpan stare when he says, I don't know who did this. I just look at Jordan.
Okay.
What?
As I come up to it, can
Jin can't
I
even have a wholesome moment with Drell where he
Can you
supports
what?
him.
use a recall point? for an
You
Arcana
did
check?
this already when there was the portal to the Feywild, and I'm going to stand by your decision back then, or your recall back then would stand for this, which was your understanding of the ability to close portals. And back then, or close any sort of gateway to another plane of existence. And back then, you were under the understanding that it's possible, but it's not something that anyone in your party has the materials or the capacity to currently do, unless they have the capability to manipulate their sense of plane shifting. However, I would say you can use a recall point now to try to gather information in your head about the elemental plane of air if you want, because that was the Feywild. I would say with the elemental plane of air, you can at least take a little bit of solace in knowing that most of the things that exist in the elemental plane of air are chaotic or lawfully good or neutral, like celestials or elementals that don't seek harm, unless what they want is impeded in any way, shape, or form. So if they are trying to reach the mortal plane and there are people on the other side of this tear trying to stop them, they will act for their own benefit, but they're not evil, so they're not coming out with an intention of aggression against mortal beings. And there are also some beings on the elemental plane of air that, if they wanted to get out, are powerful enough to make sure that happens. Bamboozle would have been from the elemental plane of air, which means there's possibly other Coatls. There's
I wonder what
possibly
happens
air
if
elementals. There's possibly Ginny.
Comes, like if they just step out of the portal and I banish them, do they just teleport right back behind the portal?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I
mean, it would just send them. I mean, I'd have you roll a D100 to see where they land, kind of like the teleport spell.
Well, we'll see if that happens.
So you could sit here and cast banishments. However, you guys, unless you guys are making immediate action, currently the plan by Jin's father is to shift guards, where people are going to keep watch with his people, and no one's to leave the village or get close to this tear until they're prepared to be able to close it. So, we're going to do a little bit of a couple day sort of time skip. Is Jin, you spend 2 days exhausted, and you get rid of your exhaustion. I would say we'll work on your class stuff this week as to what you'd be going into whatever this is before you take another direction, sort of like a temporary class. Aphelion and Valxis, you guys lose your exhaustion because you would have slept at some point over these couple days. It's on the third day of you guys taking shifts, trying to maintain. Nothing has approached this tear. I don't know if you guys are all taking the same shift and then having the people of the village take other shifts, or if you guys are splitting yourselves up. I think this is kind of important information right now, depending on what you guys would want to do.
might be smart to split ourselves up.
Stagger it.
Yeah, that way we could go.
Yeah, me and
Wake.
Kilo will take the first shift.
You shut the fuck up.
Do you say that? Do you tell him to shut the fuck up when you guys talk about shifts?
No. Just that was me. That was Austin to Noah.
Well, are Kilo and Drell gonna take a shift together with the people of the village?
Yeah.
Okay. You two, your shift includes 3 random individuals, as well as a woman by the name of Tina and a man by the name of Razakiro. Both of them seemingly working together, or at least standing side by side, the way that like you and Kilo would work together if something sort of came out of it. I don't know what other shifts you guys want to take. Who else wants to be grouped together?
I don't know. I'll take one. I don't know. Someone else can hop in with me.
I'll say you guys are just split up amongst 3 shifts, 2 per shift, without Jin, because Jin's still sort of down.
Yeah.
So who wants to go with Valxis for shift 2?
I'll go.
Okay, and then Ben and Marador for shift 3. So you guys go through these 2 days, 3 different shifts. You guys don't find anything coming out. On the 3rd day, I would say after Drell and Kilo's shift, as there's sort of a shift change occurring, you hear one of the guards shout, "Something approaching the tear!" And everyone turns attention as you guys just see, initially, clouds drifting across until those clouds start to take more humanoid forms. And as they get closer to the tear, you see 2 of them have the cloud forms that's around their, this cloud form they've taken suddenly solidifies and looks like a translucent blue metal. And in their hands materializes flails. As 1, 2, 3 of these things move towards the tear. Behind them, hulking air elementals. You guys have seen an air elemental before. Those of you who fought to save the dragon have seen an air elemental before. This is 2 air elementals moving with them, coming towards the tear. Obviously, an alert goes out to the rest of the village that something's moving towards the tear. Everyone comes out ready to fight. And you guys are all prepped for a combat next session against a bunch of elemental plane of the air people.
Let's go!
Jin's waking up out of his
Yeah, the
2-day
Jin.
exhaustion. And I'll figure out Jin's shit this week.
Oh, we long rested.
You did. You guys had 2 days of long rests. So
The
Jin's exhaustion's gone.
consequences for
Your
action.
exhaustion's gone. But Jin's currently classless.
Got no
So.
class, Jim.
You're gonna do
You're
great.
classist.
You're gonna do great.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, this is what happens when you let Drew and Noah play with a tank to the elemental plane of air.
What have we
It's
done?
a shame that
we're gonna be in
Jin
trouble.
Can't
Jin
leave
cannot
Drell
just-
alone.
No,
Jin
they're
We didn't
not
even
just
leave him
gonna-
alone. We left him with
You
Kilo.
left him with the silent
can-
one, guys. I don't know what you
Dude,
expected
Jin's
to happen.
positive relationships can never be just like all at the same time. It's just one or the other.
Relationship
Either
with
he's
Sheila
good
got
with
fucked up
Drell-
because of Valxis. Relationship with his father gets fucked up by Drell and Kilo.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not
Then
exactly
when
smart.
When Jin and
Me
Valxis get
neither. It's
along,
okay, buddy.
and Drell and Jin are getting along,
Oh, just be
Drell
happy
does
that
Drell things.
be happy that Kilo passed those 3 strength athletics checks in a
I
row, or
know.
Drell would have just been gone in the elemental plane of air.
Bro, I think
I
that would
was-
have been
I was
funny
like-
as shit.
Search for Drell.
I thought that would have been so
So
funny.
close.
We were all talking to the group chat. We're like, what are we going to do next? This, that.
I was like, well, all right. I guess this will be just like we do a time skip. Jin, learns how to make the potions and stuff, and then I'm
No.
like, wow, we're gonna go to the air. We have to fight air elementals.
Well, you guys are
Yeah.
fighting them. Currently, no one got sucked in. If either of you got sucked in, it would have been real interesting because the elemental plane of air is not a place full of land.
Yeah.
Literally air.
And if
the
you
only
guys-
one.
It
What?
could cast sending on Drell. His response probably just would have been like, ah! flying through the air, just like.
I could have
I've
flown
been
for 10
falling.
seconds.
For 30 minutes.
You actually, had you said I shoot out my wings and fly back out, I would have allowed that without any sort of rolls from Kilo.
Well, that's not fun.
I know.
That's why I didn't do it.
Sure.
Yeah, because
It
you
wasn't-
forgot you had wings or anything.
No, I always know I have wings. I just intentionally didn't use them.
Yeah, it's how he used them to set the ship on fire.
Yeah.
I was just imagining like them breaking this box, and it's just cut to, the next year, and it's just like, so if you look to your right, you now see the Lacrosang disaster, where the place is now completely uninhabitable for the next 1,000 years. Like a fucking Chernobyl.
As beings come out of the elemental plane of air, I'd say, Ben, this is also part of that recall for tears or portals. The other thing was a portal. So portals or whatever. A tear, if creatures are pushing their way out of it, they are going to be opening it wider.
Oh.
And air elementals are not small.
Oh, yeah.
So what's now currently a contained tear that's not growing will probably grow if things are pushing their way out of it.
Wait.
Man.
So does that mean there was never any gold in this?
No, there's gold in there. Bamboozle. So the idea that you would gather out of this is that Bamboozle was literally given a tank where he could just like go to his home plane, and he probably has a nest in something where he keeps his valuables. Like it's not like a bag. It was never a bag of holding. You guys could never store stuff in there without Bamboozle to put it somewhere and get it back out.
It was a terrarium of air.
Yes, it was literally a terrarium of air. This was not a bag of holding situation. This was not a pocket dimension. It was a contained terrarium to the elemental plane of air.
It's going to be so much money that we can just buy a new house for him.
I don't think we're gonna get money, bud.
I mean, good luck getting Bamboozle to come across two countries to get back to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You should go and find Bamboozle's nest.
Go in there for exactly 1 minute of flight and tell me how that works out for you.
Why did you want to rip open that? I just
because they thought it was a glorified bag of holding.
Yeah.
We'll just turn it inside out. Duh. Dumbass.
We turned it over, and just like a bag of holding, the stuff doesn't fall out. You have to reach in and grab something, but there was nothing in it for us to grab.
And just like a bag of holding where you have to literally turn it inside out, they literally turned a tank inside out.
Yeah. It's simple math.
Yeah, dumbass.
Yes, math.
So nonetheless, that's where we're going to end the session this week. Let's try to get everyone here at 6:30 next week, except for Austin, who's got school stuff. Yeah.
Actually, no. Oh wait, no. It's Wednesday. So.
Yeah.
I forgot because
no 7:20 starts. If you can get out of work
process.
What's up?
Should I just set my class to?
What I'm gonna do is, and I guess I could just say this in front of everyone, until you find a way to specialize yourself, you're going to be considered either a ranger or a fighter without a subclass. So you're going to set yourself as a level 7 fighter or a level 7 ranger. You can have your martial stuff or your feats and stat bonuses, but you won't be able to like be a ranger where you can pick up spells or be a fighter where you choose a subclass and have a specialization. You're just going to be under one of the two of those and not have subclass features.
I think I know how to do this.
If you want to do ranger,
without,
you're going more down
up.
tracking and stuff. If you're going down fighter, you're just a martial user of swords.
No blood magic at all?
Nope, nothing.
No.
Nada.
So we discussed this, and I guess it'll be talked about more in character at some point.
Caramba.
Do you want me to bring it up or no?
No, you can.
It's the idea that like if anyone's ever played a Dragon Age game in here, the idea of like becoming a whatever the fucking hunters or whatever your main characters are called in that game, you have to consume like monster blood, which goes through like a vicious like trial in your body, and if you survive it, you're good to be a blood mage or blood hunter. If you die from it, you die from it. It's kind of the concept that his it sort of mixes with your own blood, and that's how you can manipulate blood magic. That got pulled out with his Moorbounder stuff. So he needs to retake the blood hunter trial to get his
and not die.
And not, well, you kind of can gather that he probably won't die if he didn't die the first time, but he has to retake the blood and rework it into his system to regain his blood hunter abilities. But he won't regain the Moorbounder transformation. Lycanthropy's gone.
Yeah.
So until that happens, we're gonna end the session here. Thanks everyone for watching, and thanks players for being here. We'll see you guys again next week. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Hey, good night.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye. Cut out.
Oh no!